Great. Well, thank you all for joining. We're excited today because we're going to be talking about the power of the logo, and we're super excited about this. Danielle and Megan and Rachel have done a huge amount of work in getting some survey results that show just how important the Colorado Proud logo is. So, Megan, I turn it over to you and we'll get started.
Awesome. Let me share the presentation. Is everyone able to see the screen?
Yeah, looks good.
Great.
Excellent. If we can go to the next one, it'll just have everybody's name and their email address. So feel free to reach out to any of these folks if you have questions or would like to connect with them. We do welcome questions and conversations. So don't hesitate if while they're presenting, raise your hand or put it in the chat. We'll be monitoring that. And of course, we'll ask for questions as well. So thank you all. Megan, Danielle, Rachel, thank you guys for doing this. And let's get started.
Well, thank you so much for having us. We're really excited to share with you the latest Colorado Proud consumer survey results. We'll dig in a little bit of background on how the survey is conducted, and then we'll walk you through the insights and a little bit of recommendations at the end for how you can leverage these insights in selling your products directly to consumers. So as Barb mentioned, we want this to be an interactive conversation. Feel free to ask questions, whether that's at the end or if you have thoughts that you want to share and don't want to lose it, feel free to add those in the chat, and then we'll tackle some Q&A at the end of the presentation.
So, as Megan mentioned, this first slide here outlines the why behind why we conducted this research and how we did it. So, we want to provide you all with context for interpreting these results that Megan will follow with after. But first off here, our primary objectives were we wanted to track overall awareness of the Colorado Proud program among Colorado consumers and how that changes over time. So, with that, we also wanted to understand how people are hearing about Colorado Proud, whether that be in store, online, through advertising, or word of mouth. And among those who are aware, we also looked at the main message that was sticking with them. Finally, from our primary objectives, we wanted to compare the purchase of intent across different product categories to see where Colorado Proud has the strongest impact there. And then looking at our secondary objectives here, beyond awareness, we explored whether certification labels actually influence buying behavior. And importantly, with that, we tested whether the Colorado Proud brand itself matters more to consumers than certification labels in general. And then with our methodology here, the survey was conducted using an online panel. So this was consistent with prior years that we have given out this survey, which allowed us for reliable year-over-year comparisons. Oh, looks like someone's in the waiting room here. And then as far as what was new this fall for the survey, we included a household income question. So this was that we could better understand the differences across consumer segments. And throughout their report, any differences highlighted are statistically significant as the 95th percentile confidence level. And those are marked with an asterisk there when Megan goes through everything. So, with that being said, I am going to, now that you have this foundation, hand it over to Megan to look at what the Colorado consumers are telling us.
Thank you, Rachel. A quick overview of who are the consumers that were sharing this information with us. So as Rachel mentioned, it's an online survey panel. We were able to get over 500 completions from Colorado residents statewide. And we want to make sure that this information really provides a accurate kind of makeup of the state of Colorado. And so we have a mix of geography, both rural, suburban, and urban consumers. We have a mix of race and ethnicity. About 36% are non-white. with a mix of household income, ages, both genders. But most importantly, we want to make sure that the consumers who are participating are the primary household grocery shopper, so that they're really the ones that are driving and making the purchasing decisions for their home. So that's kind of general makeup of who responded and who's representative in this data. So our first section, we're going to look at consumer shopping behaviors, really where are consumers shopping? So we asked our participants where they buy their groceries, what is the primary source for grocery shopping in their household. By far and away, it's the traditional grocery store. Over 98% of consumers are going to that traditional, King Soopers, Safeway, that everyday grocery store that's in their town. We do know that the majority of consumers don't only go to one source for groceries. And so we do see that that's shifting down to club stores, specialty grocery stores. We're seeing more perishable goods in convenience stores, as well as an increase in delivery services from grocery stores and those delivery apps such as Instacart. And then followed by farmers market, and then local stores are still representative with less than 20% of the consumer respondents. And so what's interesting here to see is that there are some notable demographic differences between our urban and suburban residents. They're more likely to shop at club stores and apps and use those delivery services more so than our rural respondents. We also saw that consumers with an income of more than 50,000 are more likely to shop at farmers markets than those lower income brackets. So something to keep in mind if you are leveraging farmers markets as your primary source of purchase to consumers. And then we have seen a statistical significance in shifts between consumers, particularly when it comes to those delivery apps. We are seeing that particularly from the spring in 2025 to when we tested consumers in the fall of 2025, about a 6 to 8 months gap there. Their use of those delivery services have increased over 7%, from 17% to 24%. So we continue to see that online platforms like Instacart are growing and an important audience for you to consider when you're thinking of how you promote your products to consumers today. When we break down this data and we look by age group, again, with the majority of consumers shopping at grocery stores, you see that consistency across every age demographic. So ultimately, if you want to reach a wide base of consumer residents, that traditional grocery store is really your best bet to make sure that you're reaching all audiences. But we are seeing that, again, there are some differences when it comes to which ages are shopping at different platforms. And so there's opportunity if you're thinking, that you're going to prioritize farmers markets. That's a great opportunity that you're going to be selling to more of those 36 to 50-year-olds, kind of that Gen X consumer. If you're looking to reach the younger demographic, that's where things like delivery grocery apps or even convenience stores are starting to rise as an opportunity for where these new younger consumers are starting to increase their purchases for grocery items outside of that traditional grocery store experience. This next section looks at if and where do these consumers have access to Colorado Proud products. The great news is that more than 80% of our participants said that they do have access to Colorado Proud products in their stores. So when we asked them, over 20% said that yes, they feel that all the stores that they shop have Colorado Proud products. And over 60% said yes, some of their stores have these goods available. We did see some slight differences when we asked those urban and suburban residents. Some felt that almost all of their stores carried them. Some felt only some. And we did see some consumers that just said they're not sure. And maybe it's not at the forefront of what's driving their purchasing decisions when they're in the store. What was interesting is that we didn't see any statistical differences by age or by race and ethnicity. So something to keep in mind as you're looking across the variety of consumers that are shopping and seeking your goods across Colorado. We did see some interesting differences when it came to access to Colorado products by community type. When we looked at that middle group, that yes, some of my stores or markets have these products available, it was very consistent across urban, suburban, and rural consumers. But when we did see that breakdown of yes, all of my stores have it, it was interesting to see that urban consumers felt more confident in their ability to access Colorado Proud products than our rural consumers. And then this just takes another look at the data by the lens of household income. As Rachel shared, this was the first time that we asked participants for their household income. So it just gives us another ability to kind of slice the data and look at, are there any differences or relevancies when it comes to household income? We did see that when it came to their ability to access products and their confidence in finding Colorado Proud products, that yes, some of the stores and markets had it. It was mostly that mid-tier of $50,000 to $100,000 dollars annually felt that they could access Colorado Proud products at most of the stores that they're shopping. It was also interesting to see that when it came to consumers not sure if they have the ability to access Colorado Proud products, the majority of that came from lesser income households. And so something to keep in mind, again, if that's your target demographic or consumers that are shopping with more price sensitivity, the ability to look for certain criteria, such as goods that are grown, sourced locally, may not be at the forefront of their shopping experience. Now we'll dig a little bit deeper into awareness of Colorado Proud products. For this section, we are able to share in the online format the specific logos and ask consumers what is their awareness? Do they know what these programs are? And so we shared with them logos of USDA organic, non-GMO, Colorado Proud, gluten-free, vegan, and kosher. And it was great to see as we've been doing the survey over the past few years, just how those awareness levels have shifted over time. We did see that there was great awareness and we remain steady in the number of consumers who are aware of Colorado Proud. They're familiar with the logo and they could identify it. That stayed pretty consistent here from the spring survey to the fall. We also did tend to see that there was some shifts down in all of the categories year over year, which was kind of interesting, whether it was USDA organic, GMO. You'll see that almost every trend line went down slightly in 2025. Some could assume that that is maybe due to price sensitivity. It may not be what consumers are shopping for, but just something to note that we did see again is consumers are looking for labels that did shift slightly down year over year. When we take a closer look at the Colorado Proud awareness by age, it was interesting to see again, over time, how this has shifted in the different demographics. So we've got our Gen Z consumers, 18 to 23, that are just starting to make those purchasing decisions at home. You've got the millennial audience, 24 to 35, who are becoming those primary shoppers, building their households. Gen X, 36 to 49, and then our boomer audiences, 50 to 70. What was really exciting for us to see is in that millennial audience, the 24 to 35-year-olds, who are becoming kind of one of the primary shopping demographics for brands, we saw a significant increase in their awareness of Colorado Proud from our survey in the spring to the fall. And that's been a big priority for us from a marketing standpoint, knowing that these consumers are shopping more, they're spending more at the stores, their families are growing. So it's really great to see that awareness of Colorado Proud has increased just this past year. We ask consumers, where are they seeing? How is this awareness coming to be? Are they seeing and hearing Colorado Proud, whether that's in the store or online? Overall, on-pack and in-store advertising is the primary source for consumers' awareness around Colorado Proud. We have seen that decrease slightly year over year, but it still continues to be the primary source of inspiration when they're looking for a product or they're buying a brand at store. If they want to know that it's grown, raised, or made in Colorado, they want to see it at the point of purchase. We did also see some great growth in social media. So again, as we're looking at those younger consumer audiences, they're seeking more inspiration, information about products and goods online before they get to the point of purchase. And it was great to see that social media increased from spring to fall, with more consumers getting aware of Colorado Proud at that pre-store inspiration point, as well as with online digital advertising, Google search, and word of mouth. And so again, it just goes to show kind of the 360 surround sound that consumers are looking for to find brand inspiration, learn about products before they get to the store, as well as that reminder at the point of purchase. Next, we gave consumers some messaging to better understand, do they understand Colorado Proud and what it represents? We gave them some aided choices in this specific question, so they were able to pick from what we offered. And then, with Grown in Colorado being the primary feedback that consumers shared with us, that this is what Colorado Proud means to them. Made in Colorado, as well as from Colorado farmers, ranchers, and businesses, also were primary messages from more than half of the respondents. Next, we gave consumers the option to kind of tell us when they see Colorado Proud or when they look for in the advertising, tell us in your own words, what does Colorado Proud mean to you? And it was really great to see the information that they shared with us that really was consistent in the messaging that we share directly with consumers through advertising and social media. To us, they told us that it's grown in Colorado, made, produced in Colorado. They shared that it supports local farmers, it strengthens Colorado's economy. Some other great words that they used were locally grown, locally sourced, words like fresh, quality, healthy. So it was great to see that overall very positive messaging, and they truly understood, what is the purpose of Colorado Proud, and they see it as a very clear and consistent message across all the formats in which we're sharing this information with consumers. Next, we ask consumers how interested are they in purchasing products if they know that they are Colorado Proud. So are they interested by category in goods that are made, grown, and raised in Colorado more so than other categories? And again, we're able to kind of look and see how this information has shifted over time. But as you can see, it's been fairly consistent for the past few years. Overall, consumers really look for these Colorado Proud sourcing when it comes to those perishable goods. So vegetables, fruit, meat, eggs. But it's also important for areas such as packaged food. We saw an increase there of 72%. And what was really interesting to see is that folks were interested, particularly with beer and liquor sales, finding that locally sourced product. So something interested in if that's a business that you're currently in or looking to expand your business. It was great to see that consumers are looking for the Colorado Proud label and sourcing not only on the perimeter of the store, but also other specialty goods. So something to keep in mind for future marketing efforts. This is about, the influence of the Colorado Proud label. So we asked consumers if they know that a product has the Colorado Proud label, confirming that it's grown, made, or produced here in the state, and the pricing was the same, would you buy the product more often, the same, or less often? And it was really great to see that overall, more than 70% of consumers said that if they see the Colorado Proud label on a good and the pricing is consistent, they would buy that product more often. So you'll see that in the yellow bar is kind of the category of all consumers. And then when we filtered that data by consumers that we knew were already aware of Colorado Proud, based on how they responded earlier in the survey, we saw that number increase more to 74%. That is, significant. It's almost 3/4 of consumers told us that if they know that a product has Colorado Proud and they're already aware of Colorado Proud, they're going to buy that product more often. So that was really encouraging for us and hopefully a key message for you as you see the power of the Colorado Proud label and how it can help support your businesses. We did see that for consumers that were buying the same, if they were not aware of Colorado Proud, that actually decreased a little bit. So again, it just goes to show that it's not only about the label, but it's about kind of the storytelling around Colorado Proud and how we're helping consumers understand what that means and how it's important to your business and all of your marketing communications. This takes a look at that same data and breaks it down by household income. So again, if consumers know that a product is Colorado Proud, they can see the label, the pricing is consistent, would they buy it more often? And we did see that was a really encouraging message for consumers, particularly in the lower income households that we saw earlier were less aware of Colorado Proud. So they were saying to us that, again, if they're aware of this information and the pricing is consistent, we are seeing that ability for consumers to want to buy it more often from those lower income households as well as the higher income brackets. We ask consumers, what makes you want to purchase a product? Why is Colorado Proud important to you? What's that motivator to buy? And it was really encouraging to see that overall they see it as a key indicator to support Colorado's economy. Again, nearly 3/4 of consumers, 75%, said ultimately that's their why in terms of why Colorado Proud matters to them in their purchasing decisions. Some of the other respondents share that it comes from a local farmer, rancher business, so it's all about supporting local. Some consumers perceive Colorado Proud with freshness. It's also just about availability. So if it's available at their local grocery store or farmer's market, that's what they're going to buy. And then we did see a little bit about it doesn't travel as far, maybe kind of providing a little bit of a sustainability plus there for consumers. This next section, we took an interesting look at certification labels in buying Colorado Proud products. We know as food manufacturers and purveyors, certification labels are something that, you may be exploring and looking at ways, what matters most to consumers. And in this, crowded marketing landscape, what's the most important thing that you want to be communicating to your consumer audience? So we looked at a variety of labels to ask consumers essentially, if they see this label, are they more interested, less interested, or do they have the same amount of interest in the product if it has this certification? We also did confirm with consumers that, with these certification, you should assume that it has a slightly higher price than a product without this certification. So we asked consumers around a variety of certifications that are either up and coming or consistently available for today's consumer goods. So some of the offerings were certified sustainability grown, certified organic, naturally grown, raised without antibiotics, regenerative, as well as BPI certified or compostable packaging. And overall, we did see consumers very interested in a lot of these certifications. But what was interesting is that at the highest level, we saw raised without antibiotics, that certification at about 58% of consumer interest. This is still nearly 12 to 15% lower than what consumers responded of their interest in buying Colorado Proud. So as you saw earlier, we said 70% of all respondents were interested in buying products with the Colorado Proud label, which is free and available for all brands to be able to use. But that was that is slightly decreased and less than other certifications that you may have to be paying for and provide a lot of information in order to carry that label on your product. So ultimately, we see that Colorado Proud being free and a really easy way to help communicate that local message that we know resonates with consumers is a very strong indicator to purchase for consumers, more so than other certification labels. We asked consumers who were more interested in buying a product with a certification label on it, if they were choosing between that product or a product labeled Colorado Proud, which one would you be most interested in buying? And again, above all, in every category, even taking price out of the equation, the Colorado Proud product was always favored by the consumer. So again, when this label was compared to organic, raised without antibiotics, even compostable packaging, the Colorado Proud product had more positive impact on their purchasing decision than other certifications. And we know that many times these certifications and labels can be paired together, but we did see that the Colorado Proud label had more impact on their purchasing decisions versus other certifications. So again, we took a look at those respondents who were more interested in buying, but choose Colorado Proud when given the choice. And again, this is just another lens to look at that data of understanding that when Colorado consumers are aware of the Colorado Proud program before they get to the store, they're more likely to buy Colorado Proud. So it's again, just another indication that awareness matters and there's opportunity to help educate and inspire consumers before they get to the store. So I know we shared a lot of information, and as Barb mentioned, all the data and insights here will be able to share with you so you can look at them and get back in touch with us if you have any questions. This is just a key summary of some of those key insights that we hope that you'll walk away from today. And that awareness of Colorado Proud is stable statewide at 68%. We do see that the Colorado Proud label increases interest in buying Colorado products, and that being raised, grown, or produced in Colorado is that key differentiator and value of the Colorado Proud brand. We did see too that while certified products have appeal, none come close to the buying power of Colorado Proud for generating more interest in purchasing. When offered a choice between a certified product and a Colorado Proud product, most would choose to buy Colorado. And those aware of the brand before they even get to the store are more inclined to buy it over other certified products. So just some great insights to keep in mind in how you communicate and leverage the power of the Colorado Proud logo and its marketing efforts in your branding. And last, an interesting note from this year's survey is that grocery delivery apps are growing in popularity. There's an opportunity to highlight Colorado Proud and use that logo. If you are selling on these platforms, it could be in your product photos, it could be in the descriptions on Instacart. There's a lot of different ways that you can include the logo with your brand in communicating to consumers on these delivery apps. We've recently did an Instacart pilot test in the fall. We found really great results. And so if that's a platform that you're looking to connect with consumers and sell your products, both in state as well as outside of the state, and we'll be happy to work with you and find some ways that we can leverage those insights to help you increase the reach and purchase intent for your brands.
Thank you, Megan. And now that you've all had a chance to listen to the results, we want to talk to you about what you can do as a Colorado Proud member with these specific results. So, one of the biggest takeaways from this survey is just how powerful the Colorado Proud label is. So, nearly 3 out of 4 consumers say that they want to buy more if a product features the Colorado Proud logo. So, what this means for your brand is that the level of purchase intent is a real opportunity. And this slide here focuses on practical ways businesses can take advantage of it. With that, first being the use of the Colorado Proud logo consistently will really help your brand advantage. And so consumers told us they notice the logo most on packaging at the point of purchase and on social media. So in store, and then also really integrating within the digital world in today. And an integrated approach is what we find works best, especially in a crowded marketplace. So having multiple different ways that you're showing that logo will really help you. And also, the Colorado Proud Marketing Toolkit offers free, ready to use assets, which makes the logo an easy shortcut to your buy local messaging. And when I go into this next slide here, I will share with you all that toolkit and then also some exciting updates that are coming with that. But that marketing toolkit is an access to all of you, free to use for your marketing efforts. And then secondly, we really want you to tell your local story. So consumers want to support Colorado and they want to know the story behind the brands that they buy. So the more that you can share your story, the more incentive the consumers have to be interacting with your brand, purchasing, sharing it with others, things like that. So highlighting your local roots helps create that emotional connection with consumers. And Colorado Proud can also act as a marketing partner to help amplify those stories statewide. And I'll go into some examples of some great Colorado Proud members that really lean into Colorado Proud, specifically on digital, social media, tagging, things like that as well. And so, lastly, here, leaning into that digital aspect, especially if you're trying to reach younger consumers in today's world, is extremely important. Awareness is growing fast among younger audiences, and they're making decisions digitally today. And so that includes brand websites, social media, and e-commerce platforms like Amazon, Instacart that Megan mentioned, and Shopify. There are really many touch points where the Colorado Proud logo and messaging can reinforce purchase decisions. So again, just having that integrated campaign really will benefit you. And so overall, the data shows that Colorado Proud isn't just recognized, it actively drives buying behavior. And then this next slide here, like I mentioned, shows some great Colorado Proud brands, a few of them that really utilize the logo here. So you can see Centennial Cuts uses it in almost all of their packaging. Polidori Sausage does as well. And then also some great examples of how brands are using it on their websites down here with Hell Yeah Salsa, and then Daddy's Homemade Syrup, for example, really showcases the logo in social media as well. So again, just having that integrated marketing campaign where you can show the logo is really beneficial to businesses. And we've had some great feedback from Colorado Proud members that do currently utilize the logo. And then this next slide here talks about our current member toolkit that we have. And Megan, I'm happy to share my screen here too to
Yeah.
show
I'll
this.
stop share. There you go.
Okay, great. So if everyone is able to see my screen here, this is our current member toolkit. And as I mentioned, we have some exciting updates that are coming to this toolkit this month, which I will talk about here in a second. But there are different folders here. First, this starts with a welcome letter that really gives you a breakdown of what you can find inside this toolkit. And then when you go into each folder, we provide standard brand guidelines for Colorado Proud. And so what's coming new is that we also are going to be providing this toolkit in Spanish as well. So you'll be able to access that there. And then going back here, we also provide our different logo formats. So I think as some of you had saw, some members choose to use our black and white logo in their packaging. Others use our colored logos as well. So yeah, a variety of different ways that you can utilize the logo. And something new that Colorado Proud developed at the end of 2025 was a Spanish logo, which had been requested by a few members as well. So that's an exciting new thing that you can access here. And then for media relations, we also wanted to provide you all with a general press release template. And so this can be for any stories about your brand that you want to get out to the local media. So this is a general guideline here for how you want to format your press release. And we also provided some general tips of what makes a really great press release and hopefully catches the media's attention there to reshare your article. And then finally, our last two folders here, this is one of my favorite things that the toolkit provides, but this is a vendor resource list in Colorado that we all really like. So we provided some sticker vendors, large format printing vendors, so that can be anywhere from sandwich boards to banners that you want to be using at the farmers market, and then also some general printing vendors that we really like here as well. So we put links in there for you all to access there. And then going back here, this last folder also provides you with a few marketing collateral pieces. And so this includes things like I'd mentioned, we did already pre-design a banner if you would want to use this, for example, at the farmers market or any other vendor booths, conferences that you're attending. They're really great designs that are already accessed for you. And then also our Colorado Proud Produce calendar, which is a favorite of many that is included in both English and Spanish here. So that is free for you to print out as well and utilize however you see fit. And then finally, some stickers as well, which have been really popular. Really great way just to easily showcase the brand, putting it on water bottles. We also really used it for our Farm to School month this year. Students and kids love it. So it's a great way to reach the younger generation as well with stickers. And then going back to our slideshow here, if you're able to share your screen, Megan. There we go. So yes, and then what's going to be coming here new for 2026, as I mentioned, is more accessibility to Spanish language resources. We've also refreshed the brand a bit, and so there's some new language in there. You also can find on our website for those if you have different businesses that are wanting to become Colorado Proud members. We've updated our language a bit with that as well. And then we will be having an upcoming webinar on February 17th that's going to really dive into this particular toolkit and how you can use it along with the Spanish access.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Rachel. We do have an appendix in this deck. So if you're looking for more information on the demographic breakdowns or any of the data shared from the survey, we do have that available. But now we just would love to open the floor for any questions, comments, anything that we can help in specific to today's consumer survey insights.
Excellent presentations. Thank you both. Does anybody have any questions or anything they would like to talk with Rachel, Megan, or Danielle about? Thank you, Rachel, for putting that toolkit link in the chat.
I'll mention that first off, I want to thank Philosophy Communications. They're the contractor we use to help promote Colorado Proud, and they've done a lot of great work here. Very professional, and I think, have helped elevated our communications and messaging to Colorado in general. I also wanted to mention that we, the department in Colorado Proud, put in a application for a federal trademark as well. And so what's great about that is even at a larger level, it'll be recognized. And then we have those protections to really make sure the brand stays pure, and we are sticking to what it means, and outside of Colorado it will carry on with that as well. So we're waiting to hear back, but those have just been submitted.
We did get a question. How can someone become a member and what are the qualifications? It's a very good question.
Yeah, thanks for that question. So Colorado Proud is an exclusive program. Rachel, or an inclusive program. Rachel put the link in there where you can sign up. If you click on that link, it's in the top right-hand corner in red, become a member. It's a red button. And then you'll go through a form that asks a lot of questions about your business or operation. And so anything that is grown, raised, or made will be able to qualify for Colorado Proud. And does Colorado Proud expire? Right now, it's really up to the members to kind of keep everything up to date. So as far as like your website, your social media handles, your contact information, we don't have a renewal program at this point. That might be something we do in the future. But once you're a Colorado Proud member, we keep you as a Colorado Proud member. But if anything ever changes or anyone brings anything to our attention, like maybe your product isn't made here anymore or it's moved out of state, we will remove you from the membership.
Good questions.
Yep, the toolkit, we'll give you access right away. So I see that someone just asked. So I'm doing that currently as we speak to give access as a viewer, and then you'll be able to access those materials in there.
Yep.
So if you're the person who just did, I just gave you access. We do that so that not everybody can just get in there and use what they need. Again, that's part of being a member, and so we like to just make sure we're approving access to people who are actually members or utilizing the logo in a way that is appropriate.
Are we free to make swag with the logo ourselves, or do we need to purchase such items through a certain pathway? Good question, Bethany.
Yeah, that's a good question. So if you're using the logo to promote your own brand, we're fine with that. If you are handing out swag, it obviously cannot be for a price. If you're putting our logo on it, it's got to be a free item. So I mean, if you have a farmer's market stand, for instance, and you're a Colorado Proud member, you want to hand out some like water bottles or even a grocery bag. Um, that would be, reusable grocery bags, things like that are fine. It's just that it can't be used for profit, as far as like the swag goes.
Yeah. She added that they'd like to add it to their staff volunteer shirts or what we wear at farmers market.
Oh,
That
absolutely.
would be great. Mhm. Good questions. Thank you guys for your questions. And just to reiterate, we're all available for questions afterwards or at any time should you have any questions about the program or how to use the label, things like that. So, and as they pointed out in this slide up on the screen, our next webinar is February 17th. So keep your eyes open to register for that because we will be diving into this toolkit and the resources for our members.
Yeah, and as always, like Barb mentioned, if you have any questions about utilizing the logo, if you're not sure, if it's not clear to you in any of the guidelines or how to use the logo in the resource kit, please just reach out. We will respond fairly quickly. And we would just, it's one of those things. If you're not sure, it's probably just best to ask, and then we'll be happy to answer that for you. Because it is a registered trademark of the state. And so the guidelines are important to follow.
I'm not seeing any other questions. Does anybody else have anything they'd like to share or ask our team here? You guys did a great job. Well, excellent. Well, as we mentioned, this will be available on ag.colorado.gov under Colorado Proud. So don't hesitate to go there if you're a member. Um, you've probably already seen our Colorado Proud webinar YouTubes, but don't hesitate to reach out if you need if you need a copy of this recording or access to it. And we thank everybody for joining us, and we certainly thank Megan and Rachel with Philosophy for all the work they did with this survey and presenting it, and Danielle, of course, for managing this program. It's quite a success, and it's really neat to see that the Colorado Proud logo is so recognized and valuable to our members.
Yeah, and I want to thank Barb for putting this together, Philosophy Communications for their hard work on this. Insights are always great to have, and we'd love to share them with our members and potential members. So thank you.
Thank you all, and I hope everybody has a great day.